back, quarterback rolling right. He's looking end zone, caught, touchdown.
Saturdays are sacred, a football podcast.
What is up, everybody? My name is CJ alongside Cody, and we're here because Saturdays are so sacred. You're not going to catch us working on a Saturday, okay? We're here in front of the couch. We're watching football, and yesterday was a great day to watch some college. And so now we're going to be breaking down what happened yesterday, some hot takes. I think today, if you can't take any hot takes, I don't know if this is the show for you. So buckle up, everybody, because it's going to get kind of hot and steamy here. So make sure you got the fan turned on. But before we get too far into it, Cody, how are you doing today, man?
Doing good, man. It's been a good week so far. Patriots won on Thursday. USC won yesterday, so I'm doing well. Yeah, it was a solid day of college football. So I didn't do much, but sat on my couch all day yesterday, which was nice.
That's a perfect Saturday, and then just add in maybe some wings and pizza, whatever your favorite meal of choice is. That's just perfect to add to the ambiance of the day. Don't move. That nice butt imprint on your couch, it should be permanent, right?
Yep. I agree. Yep. Like throwing a couple beers, and it was a perfect day.
Are you buckled up?
I am. Let's do it. We starting out the gate hot.
Let's start hot. Let's start off hot. Go no huddle to start this show off. Make sure you guys keep it locked on the comments. Let us know what you guys think of our takes. Make sure you're following us here at Sports Fluent on YouTube, following on Twitter, Facebook, all the good stuff. Make sure you keep it locked here with Sports Fluent, for Saturdays are sacred each Sunday.
Let's hear it.
It's a two-parter, okay? This is a two-part.
Okay.
I don't know which one I want to start with first. Okay, this is how I'm going to do it. Arch Manning will succeed in college football, but he has to get far, 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 far away from Steve Sarkisian, because Steve Sarkisian will never succeed at Texas.
Ooh, okay. I'm with you. I was gonna say I kind of hinted before the show. I have a Sark bold prediction. I could just let it out right now, or you want to go in more detail?
Go for it.
So how far is Austin, Texas, and New York? Because I think Sark is the next Giants coach.
Whoa.
I think he jumped ship. You got a quarterback ready. I know this is a college football show, but a little bit NFL. He's got a quarterback ready in Dart there. We've already heard rumors to the Titans. The Giants is a better job than the Titans. It's just a better overall job. Not much better, but it's better. But you got a quarterback there, and it's like, I think you're right. I don't think it's a good fit. Like, it's not a good fit for Arch, and I don't think it's a good fit for Sark. Sark's kind of one of those guys. He likes to get the ball out quickly, like just kind of like point guard quarterback, where Arch likes to hold the ball a little bit, move around, scramble. He's not more that point guard quarterback. So I'm with you. I don't think the fit's good there at all. I think if Sark stays, I could see Arch Manning jumping in the portal as well.
So I'm going to go as far as saying it's imperative for Arch Manning to jump into the portal. And here's why. So because I was listening to someone speak earlier today, and I was kind of gathering my thoughts. And I was like, wow, okay, yeah. And they were bringing stats, right? They were Steve Sarkisian's teams, some of the worst penalized teams in the country every year that he's under him. So they're not a very disciplined football team comparative to Georgia. I'm not trying to tote the Georgia flag, which I should have my Georgia shirt on now, but unfortunately I'm wearing a loser team on my shirt right now. But it doesn't matter. Who cares? It's fine.
Always got to support it. Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah. Oh, see, I kind of hate this team right now. But here's my issue. And here's the thing that it makes sense. So they were talking about how Steve Sarkisian's offense will never work in college football because of the fact that his philosophy, the routes that they run, they have the deepest average target or average route run in college football. So they're running these deep digs consistently. And then if it's not, it's an RPO, right? Which is gets, a lot of the at the line of scrimmage. So it's really no in between. And so I think, and then with the protection, it's like, okay, so your offensive linemen are going to have to be out on islands consistently in order to be able to hold up long enough for that long developing play to happen. Right. And so it's like, damn, you're not going to be able to have that. Obviously, yes, in Texas with the money, you could think you can have as close as the NFL style players like who are going to play on Sundays as best as you can, but you're not going to be able to get that consistency. So like you might have, obviously with the years when they had Xavier Worthy and Matt Golden and AD Mitchell and like all those studs at receiver who are quick and can get in and out of their routes fast enough, for that 15-yard dig. But you don't necessarily have that talent right now.
No, and so definitely not.
It's kind of funny because we didn't talk at all about what our take was going to be, but your take is actually a part of what I was going to say as well, is that he is a better suited. His offense is better suited for the NFL.
Agreed. Yeah.
And so I just don't think that he is going to be able to continuously win successfully, especially with some of the plays that he's running at the college football level when you don't have blue chip players. You don't have these, 5-star. I mean, they have 5-star players, but you're gonna need like legit blue chip dogs at all over everywhere. But you will have that more so in the NFL than you will in college, and I think that's the issue.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, last night, like Arch wasn't terrible last night, but what they have, like 6-7 drops. Like there was a ton of drops by the wide receivers. And they had no run game. Like Georgia shut down their run game, so it was all on Arch in the passing game. And they're just not built to win that way. Like, I don't know with Sark because they've made the semifinal the last 2 years, so you got to give them credit for that. But it's kind of been on the back of the defense a little bit. Like the defense has been good, and the offense has been okay with Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning. But that's his thing. Like the offense is his thing. So it's like if you guys are making runs off of the back of the defense, like what are you doing?
Yeah.
And like you said, you had Worthy, you had AD Mitchell, you had Isaiah Bond. Like you had some good studs at wide receiver. You didn't just have this year. You don't.
Right.
This year, your best play
decline. Yeah. For sure.
Big time. Yeah. So I don't. Yeah. I mean, like we talked about before the show, if the Texas job comes open, like this cycle is just ridiculous. But I think they do have to part ways. I thought it would be a decent match, but I never really bought into the Arch hype. But you kind of, as the season goes on, Arch has gotten better, but like I feel like Sark hasn't gotten better. So, and what's a big win? Like, okay, they beat Oklahoma in Red River, but Mateer had a broken thumb and played his first game with a broken thumb. It's like, so what's their big win this year? You lose at Ohio State, you get crushed yesterday, you lose at Florida. Like, what's your big win this year at home against Vanderbilt? Like, I don't know. So, yeah, I think it could be time for Sark to maybe look at the NFL. The Dolphins job will probably come open. The Giants and Titans are already open, and there's probably going to be like 3 or 4 more. So I think he probably ends up in the NFL. And then, yeah, I mean, then we see what happens with Texas. Does Arch stay at Texas if there's a new coach, or what happens there? That would be a huge question mark going into the offseason.
Yeah, it's crazy saying that your big win of the year was against a Vanderbilt team. Like if you said that any other year, century, or whatever, decade, it'd be like, huh? Vanderbilt? That's a big win. I mean, and if you look at it, Vanderbilt was a top 10 team, which is like, if you look at this 10 years ago, like Vanderbilt's a top 10 team. What?
Yeah, right. Seriously.
Yeah, I think that this is why I say that Arch Manning needs to run far away from Sarkisian because of the fact that don't get me wrong, Arch can run the ball. He can rip it on a line, and he can throw the ball. He has good arm strength, right? I'm not going to say talent because one of the biggest things that he struggles with is the layered pass over the middle. Yeah, and that is what Sark is consistently calling for him to throw. Yeah. So he's struggling at that, and then that could be a little errant pass, interception here, tip pass there, you know what I'm saying? So it's like obviously it's something that part of his development that he has to work on, he has to get better at. But if you know that's not your strength, why are we calling it 12 times a game to where that's 12 opportunities that you don't necessarily know how it's going to go. So I think that's why I don't think this marriage is working so great. I'll give him, like, thing is, Quinn Ewers had a insane, like, Quinn Ewers does have a lot of arm talent.
Oh yeah,
he has. I mean, he's a freak. He was a freak of a talent, and obviously the injuries definitely kind of maybe held him back, maybe, or whatever you want to call it. And obviously the receiver core that he had are all of them in the NFL, all of them.
Oh yeah.
I don't know who's going to make it out of this bunch. Obviously, it's still early. It's new. I get it. So it's a transition era. So Arch has to grow with his receiver core. So definitely why that offense was so successful previously is because of that talent they had a receiver. So now that they don't have as much success, you're seeing the offense take step back and regress. And so I just think that it's not a good marriage. Like, I think they're toxic for each other. But I think Sark is really he's having this reputation of being a quarterback friendly coach. But I think he's getting misrepresented. Like, who really has he developed as a quarterback and to be a guy?
I'm trying to think, like, maybe do you give him credit for Mac Jones at Alabama? I don't know, maybe, but I mean, they also had Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith, so so they had stacked, and then you had Damian Harris, and who was the other running back they had? They had another guy in the backfield, Brian Robinson Jr. So it's like you had a stacked team. So it's like a lot of guys could have played quarterback and looked fine there. So yeah, I'm trying to think if he has in his times at Washington, they had decent quarterback.
JT Daniels? Was that
JT?
Did he have JT?
That was at SC, yeah. And then at Washington ending, they had Jake Locker. I don't know if that was him, but that's way back, and he didn't really turn into anything. So yeah, I mean, there's not, and then Quinn Ewers was a 6th-round pick this year, and it was probably gonna be a career backup most likely. So yeah, I don't know. That's a good question because he is, like you said, he is so like a quarterback whisperer. Everybody talks about him as like the guy. Him, Kiffin's, like Lincoln Riley, Ryan Day, like these guys are supposed to be like quarterback whisperers. Well, Lincoln Riley's got 5 guys starting in the NFL. Yeah. Kiffin's got Jackson Dart starting. Kiffin's had other players at Alabama too. So it's like, okay, like Sark, who's your guy? And like I said, it's like their defense has been really good the last couple of years. So it's like, this is supposed to be offensive led team because you're an offensive coach. Like, good job on hiring a good defensive coordinator, but like, what are you doing on the offensive side? And you've played Georgia 3 times in the last year. And I think I saw the stat last night. They have 83 total rushing yards in 3 games against Georgia. That's all. Like no quarterback's going to be good when you run for, what is that? What do you divide that by 3? That's like 20-something, 28 yards per game. No quarterback's going to succeed there. And it's like, you have, like, Kirby owns you. Like, Kirby owns you. He knows he owns you. Like, and maybe it's the Alabama connection. Maybe he went up against you in practice and just knows your tendencies, but it's like, that's on you to change. Like, you can change a little bit. Like, it's been like 10 years or 8 years since you guys coached together. But no, Sark, I think there's a little bit of stubbornness there. He's just like, my offense is going to work. I can get it over Kirby. He's like, no. Like, 3 straight games, they've dominated your offense, and your defense has kept you in the game. The first 2 games last night was not the case.
It definitely wasn't. And yeah, I just don't think it's a good marriage. I think we are like, it's one of those things where once you kind of get labeled something good or negative, people tend to hold on to that for a while, but before, like, you get that reevaluation of like, oh, is this who they really are, in a sense? So, like, we're still labeling Steve Sarkisian as quarterback whisperer, and I just don't think he is. And so I just think we have to take him for what he is. And how long can he be able to keep fooling the good people of Austin, Texas, into thinking anything different? I don't know. We have to wait and see. So, but yeah.
I was like, let's get to it. Georgia looked maybe like the second best team in the country last night. So I'll let you get to that as a Georgia fan.
So, okay, I told you I thought it was going to be a high-scoring affair because I just didn't think that our defense was going to stop anybody. I will give credit what's credit's due. Mike Bobo has been doing a really good job. Like, he's calling a good game. We're being unpredictable. I think we're really efficient running the ball and pass. Like, I think we have a really good pass run mix right now. I think Gunnar using his legs, he's tough, he's hard nosed. Like, I think he's a damn good quarterback, and he's a gamer. I think that I see why players always have like high, they rave about him consistently. And so I'm excited. I'm seeing the development, and that's a word that you don't say a lot about a lot of teams in college football. It's like, I'm seeing our team develop and get better each week. And so I have to remember, like, I trust Kirby Smart, because Kirby continuously does this every year. It might look rough at times at points where you might say, "Oh, the walls are falling down." Say, "Don't worry, I just need a little spackle. We're going to get that wall right." And
Right.
he's consistently good, goes back to work, get these kids playing well. Defense only gave up 10 points last night. So it's like,
yeah,
especially after that, shootout with Ole Miss, where we couldn't stop anything, not till late into the game. And so the fact that we're able to put up with that, and offense was just did what we needed to do. The onside kick, which was electric, Thorson's definitely going to be getting. He might get drafted really high. Like, I think that's one thing I don't think people talk about, is how good Georgia's special teams, and especially kickers and punters, have been. For sure, punters over the last like decade or so. Like, we've kind of had a really good track record with punters and developing guys. So, and it's just been a developing mindset at every position, getting guys in, getting quarterbacks in, and they're not starting right away. And I mean, Gunner's been at the program for 3 years now. So it's like, he had to wait his time, develop, and give people, we give quarterbacks most of the time 2 years, 1 to 2 years for sure, that you're going to play. So, if you're going to be coming to Georgia, like, and you want to try to play right away, unless you're out of this world and mature and can run an offense smoothly and forwards and backwards, like, you're not going to get that job. Like, we want to make sure that you can pick up the offense, be able to change the plays, execute the offense at a high level, but we're going to give you time to develop. We're going to redshirt you. Then you're going to get your snaps your redshirt freshman year, once those blowout games, and get you a little taste of it. But then by your junior year, your redshirt sophomore year, that should be your window. And normally that should be your window to be able to get an opportunity to compete for that starting job. And so I like the mentality that we have with this team, of the development mindset, the growth mindset, and we got guys who are grinders and who are tough, and we work. And so that's why I'm excited to see us keep building. That Georgia Tech game is going to be must-see TV.
Big time.
That should be game of the week, and I'm excited to watch it. Nervous, but excited, because I think it'll be a good matchup. Last year with the 8 overtimes. So it's like,
crazy game.
It's going to be. I think it's going to be a crazy game as well. So I think it could be another blowout, to be honest, because I think we're just trending in the right direction. We had tough victories. We've been resilient all year, and now it's starting to click. We got our offensive lineman back, Arnis Green back at right tackle, and it's like we'll be able to move people back to where they're supposed to be, getting healthier, getting smarter, getting those reps in. And I can confidently say I think we're going to have an opportunity to make a run this year, because I see we have had those battles. So a lot of teams don't get tested throughout the season. And so I think that's going to be one of our advantages this year. And Zachariah Branch is just getting better and better. And then Noah Thomas is getting there. So it's like, I'm excited for this team. The receiver corps to keep stepping up. Oscar Delp, Lawson Lucky, like these guys, I'm excited to see step up even more as we go throughout the year. So.
Yeah, last night I think it was the first time I saw this year that looked like a legit like Georgia team, because they've been like an offensive-led team, which is weird to see a Georgia team. It's like when you sent that, you're like 42-35. I'm like, that's just so weird to see for a Georgia, like a Georgia game. But now the defense, like I said, they shut down the run game of Texas and made them one-dimensional, and then they actually got after the quarterback, because that's been a big issue for them this year, is like getting after the quarterback and getting sacks. And they got a couple sacks on Arch, rattled them a little bit, and then the defense really played well that game. And the offense, like Gunnar Stockton, like in this year that there's nobody's running away with the Heisman. Like maybe he's in the conversation now. He had a nice night. I think he had 3 touchdowns throwing and one running.
4 passing, 1 rushing.
4 passing, 1 rushing. Okay, so yeah, he had a nice Nice game, a really nice game. And like I said, yeah, there's no one running away with the Heisman, so maybe he can get in there. And now you guys have more of a complete team, and that's huge. Because if you're just going to go into the playoff with just like, okay, your defense is okay, but it's like it's an offense led, that's going to be tough, especially against teams that could score with you. But now that your defense is playing better and it looks like a Georgia defense, you're still alive to make the SEC championship game. But maybe you don't even want to make it. Maybe you just let Bama and A&M just beat each other up, and you just wait around for a home playoff game, basically. But no, that team looked like maybe the second best team in the country right now. I'm still going to give Ohio State the nod at number one, but they've had an unbelievably soft schedule for like a number one team. Like the fact, and they still have Michigan, but I don't think Michigan's that good. They probably should have lost to Northwestern yesterday, but Georgia looked good, and on a day where Alabama lost, A&M was down like 27 points going into halftime or like right before halftime. Like it looks like they could be the top dogs again in the SEC. They already beat Ole Miss. So I don't know. Like they look scary. And like I said, maybe they don't want to make the SEC championship game. You get a little bit of rest before you get a home playoff game. You get that 5 seed. You could get like North Texas or Navy at home and just kind of do your thing and kind of maybe get like 2 buys at that point. So yeah, no, it was a really good night for Georgia. I think it's definitely a bright future for them. And now you're clicking on all cylinders on both sides. Like you said, Zachariah Branch, I liked him at USC. He just never developed as a wide receiver. He was just more of like a return threat. And then a guy you can get the ball out of the backfield and he can make some moves, but he never developed as a downfield receiver. This year, it looks like he's getting down the field and he's making some plays down the field, not just out of the backfield. So he's developed. He's a huge weapon to have. And then the 2 tight ends are really good. So I think you guys are set up to make a run, see what your kind of draw you get in the playoff. But nah, that was a really good night and just kind of like looked like a legit Georgia team like we've seen in the past.
For sure. I'm excited. I think I want to see us play Texas A&M because I don't think we're going to play Texas A&M.
You'd have to play them in that. I think Bama would have to lose one more time because they got the tiebreaker over you guys. So, but I mean, Bama could lose at Auburn. I've seen it before.
I mean, I'm okay if we don't make it. I would love for us to play against Texas A&M in the SEC championship game just to really test ourselves to see. Because I think if we were to win, I think no matter how that result would have happened, I think that game would help us propel in the playoffs. I think I think if we were to win that game, I think that just will only strengthen that fire that I think we can do it, and we'll have that resolve. So,
I think if Texas upsets A&M, though, you could have another shot at Bama in the SEC title game. That could be interesting.
Definitely here for that because Bama is definitely let's go ahead and talk about Alabama, right? Alabama loses 23-21 to Oklahoma, right? Mm-hmm. And Ty Simpson didn't look great. And I think Ty Simpson is Joe Burrow in a sense that they're really a one-dimensional football team. They cannot run the football well, and they don't run the football well. Yeah. And so that's a big issue for this team. And so I think once you now seeing, like, obviously at the time we played Alabama, Georgia, that is, you know, they were very explosive and what have you. And Georgia's still figuring it out. But now we see Alabama is not figuring it out. And I feel like they're low-key regressing. And so that's not how you want to be trending after 10 weeks of football. And so I'm a little nervous for Alabama. And I'm going to say, like, obviously the Kalen DeBoer out talks were really loud after week 1, losing to Florida State. So, like, even that loss looks even more egregious now as the season progressed.
Yeah.
And I just don't think Kalen DeBoer makes it past one more season after next year. I think next year could be Kalen DeBoer's last season at Alabama because I just don't think the way he's really adapting. I get it, he's trying to like switch all around personnel and do some things differently and whatever, but like that's not Alabama football. Like that's just not what the culture of Alabama football is. And I just think the fact that I get it, you want to throw the ball all across the yard or whatever, but Alabama football is always about hard-nosed football. I mean, they're able to sling the football over the field. Obviously, when they had Bryce Young and Jalen Waddle and Jerry Jeudy and
Devontae
Smith and name receiver for the last 10 years.
Right.
But they also still had a running back room to go with that were absolute studs, Heisman winners and stuff. Holy crap. There's so many quarterbacks going into the medical tent. Jordan Love.
Jeez.
Bryce Young just went
damn.
into the tent. Calvin Ridley, well, he's not a quarterback, but Calvin Ridley just went to the tent. Sorry. But it's just not Alabama football. And I just think that slowly they're getting away from their identity. And I think that could cause a disconnect with the Alabama fans. And if they lose in the Iron Bowl, I think that can definitely get, it'll get pretty warm. And it might not be good for DeBoer. So I don't know what he has to do. Like, obviously, if they played his style of football, sling it all over the field, and have like elite receivers or whatever, and do their thing, then it'd be fine. But there's definitely going to be an uncomfortable conversation coming up about DeBoer and whether he fits the culture of Alabama. And maybe Ryan Williams is not as good as we thought he was.
Yep. Yeah. So the DeBoer thing, it's funny with Alabama fans. They're so impatient because they were spoiled for like a decade and a half with Saban. So it's like, because I think DeBoer's a good coach, but yeah, I've always thought the fit was weird. Because like even at Washington, it was all Penix, and then they had They had Adunze, they had Polk, they had McMillan.
Jalen Polk, something McMillan. So they had 3 really good receivers.
Yeah. So they just threw it all over the yard, and that's kind of what they're doing at Alabama. Like, yeah, they have like 0 run game most weeks. And then when you go up against a team like Oklahoma who has a good defense, you're gonna have 0 run game. And like you said, like it's kind of like Joe Burrow, but Ty Simpson isn't Joe Burrow. And it's like it's a style, but yeah, he's not as good as Joe Burrow. So like, yeah, and you don't have Chase and Jefferson out there either. Like you got Ryan Williams, who we all thought was gonna be a stud and be like a no doubt first round pick in a couple of years. He had that game last year against Georgia, and then kind of ever since then he's kind of like fallen off. He drops a lot of passes. Like he has a lot of drops. Like when he has the ball in his hands, he's explosive, but like you got to catch it first to be explosive. So he's had a lot of issues there. I don't know what this team, their defense is okay. They don't have any run game. Ty Simpson is a good quarterback, but I think he's a good college quarterback. I don't know what his NFL prospects are, but I mean, you lose that game yesterday. I think they outgained Oklahoma in that game by like over 200 yards, and you still lose that game. You still only put up 21 points. You'd have like 450 yards of offense. Yeah, if they end up losing, I think even if it's like a close game at Auburn, because Auburn's a bad team this year, and they already fired their coach. Like I think the noise gets super loud. You can't miss the playoff again. He can't go the first 2 years at Bama with a 12-team playoff and miss it back-to-back years. Like that would be bad.
It would be very
so I think the noise will get loud. I think if they move on from him next year, I think he finds a job that's more suited for him. I think he would do better at places like maybe like a Texas or places that are a little bit more offensive friendly, where Alabama is, yeah, they had great offensive pieces, but they also look at the defensive players in the NFL they have. They literally NFL with defensive players too, and running backs. It's like you can't just be throwing the ball all over the yard at Alabama. They're not used to that. And if you're winning, they'll love it. But when you're losing to Oklahoma, who barely has 200 yards offense, and you're losing to Florida State, who may not make a bowl game, it's not a good look. And
not at all.
Yeah, I don't like their prospects going into if they end up playing A&M in the conference championship game. I don't like that matchup at all because A&M can score. So you're going to have to just get in a track meet in a shootout with A&M, and I don't like that for them because A&M can get after the quarterback.
Oh yeah.
And then in the playoff, yeah. So I don't like their process. I think they could be a one and done team if they make the playoff. I don't see them making much of a run just because you're too one dimensional and your defense isn't good enough to be that one dimensional on offense. So I don't like their prospects going in. They do have some good pieces, but yeah, I think yesterday kind of showed kind of who they really are. Because if you watched last week too, they played LSU. They didn't play great against LSU. LSU is just bad. LSU's bad. They've kind of phoned it in on the season. So it's like you won that game, but it wasn't impressive at all. So yeah, I think they're in a world of trouble, and they better. I mean, they get there. I think they play like some some classic cupcake this week, and then
Eastern Illinois.
Eastern.
So they got a bye
Illinois.
week this week, essentially.
They got a bye to set up for the Iron Bowl, and it's in Auburn, so they got to take care of business like big time there. Maybe even some style points, like going to Auburn and push them around.
Auburn's going to win the football game.
Oh, I'll always remember that. Oh man, yeah, great. That was a great day because I'm always kind of happy when Bama loses.
Oh, me freaking too. You understand how many times I got to watch fucking Alabama? Like, got PTSD for us playing against Alabama. Tua Tagovailoa, Jalen Hurts. Like, come on, man. Like, shit's...
Yeah. No, I get it. I can only imagine how it is down there. But yeah. Oh.
But let's move on to another big time game this past weekend. Hold on, let me go to that. Let's see. Who should we talk about next? Let's talk about Texas A&M, and then we'll talk about Ole Miss, and then we'll get out the SEC. Right? This is SEC now, apparently right now.
I was saying, no kidding, right? Jeez.
But we could be real quick with these next two games. But I guess I should just ask you this question because I really want to just dunk on Shane Beamer. But before we talk about that bum, that fraud, is Texas was this a wake-up call for Texas A&M? And did this game, even though they won, was this game a little bit scary for you and maybe gave you any trepidation about Texas A&M going forward?
A little bit, because like it kind of looked like classic Texas A&M whenever we start to talk about them being like, oh, they could be one of the best teams in the country. They could contend for this or that. They kind of have one of these games where they just kind of just fall on their face. So it gave me a little bit, but like they got the win. So that's all you care about. You got the win. You're 11-0, or you're 10-0. You got the win. So just that's all that matters, because past Texas A&M teams would have lost this game. Like you're talking like the last decades worth of Texas A&M teams would not have come back in this game, would not have won this game. And you win the game. Yeah, South Carolina totally collapsed, like you said. You called that. I didn't think that would happen. I thought A&M would come back. I didn't think they would come all the way back. But I mean, you're still in the driver's seat to get to Atlanta and win the SEC. You still have, I mean, just that offense still. When you saw it in the second half, when they got going with Craver and Concepcion and Reed, like they can get going, and they have like a gear that a lot of teams can't get to on offense. So you won the game. It's like, hey, we're 10-0. We're 8-0 in the SEC. So that's all that matters. So yeah, I think it gives me a little bit of cause, because we see that those kind of performances are still in Texas A&M. They still have that in them. But like I said, decades of this program would have lost that game. So at least you won. That's all that matters.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time Texas A&M is also 10-0 since a really long time ago, I think.
Like the 90s or the 80s or something. It's been a long time. Yeah, so something really like that.
Good. Yeah. But let me tell you what's not really good.
I say I'll let you do the Duncan. Go ahead. Yeah.
Because South Carolina made one of the biggest mistakes by signing Shane Beamer to a contract extension. Yeah. And just before the season. And that's the thing. He plays just good enough at the times he needs to be able to get that extension and get that money, and probably has buyouts probably insanely high right now. So they might have to eat another year or two, which is going to be miserable for the South Carolina fans. And I found myself getting into this same cycle with them, because I'm like, yeah, they kind of was like dangerous towards the end of the year. They had that big, win against Clemson or whatever, and that's a big thing. Who cares if they beat Clemson this year? It doesn't matter. Right. Trash beat trash. It doesn't matter.
Right.
I don't even know if South Carolina will be able to make a bowl game this year. No, let me go back.
No, they just lost their 7th game. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they don't even have 3 more games to play. I think there's only 2 more games left. So yeah, they got Coastal, and then they got South Carolina. I mean, Clemson. So
Clemson, yeah.
I mean, even if you win both games, you're still going to be under 500.
Yeah, 5. Yeah.
So Beamer I'll give Beamer this. Dylan Stewart and Nick Harbor and Lenore Sellers, they got some like really good foundational pieces. So, Beamer's feeling good himself. This is the problem with South Carolina football. Shane Beamer's ego and thinking he's better than what he actually is. You are a scrub of a coach that is eating off of your last name, and that's the only real reason why you got this South Carolina job. You were eating off the last name of your father, and you were eating off the name of Lincoln Riley, because those two helped you get to this South Carolina job, right? So it's like, you got Rattler to come over with you. You got, Kenny Dow to come over with you to help you run your offense, yada, yada. But yet you consistently underperform and underdevelop this talent. And you want to blame everybody but yourself and look within. And it's consistently you put up a hissy fit. You're on the sideline watching it. I think Brooks Austin said it. He said it hilariously when he said, look for Shane Beamer to be on the injury report this week because he might have done something stupid because of his ego and his, frustration of himself getting mad. And it's like, you do this to yourself. You are a freaking child. You are a child that tries to play head coach. You're not good enough to be in the SEC, period. And you're losing games. You're not even good enough to go try to rebuild the glory at Virginia Tech that your father had, right?
No.
So it's like, South Carolina paid this man, and he's showing what his true colors are. Don't get me wrong. I love the fact that he's bringing top-tier talent to South Carolina. But why, if I'm Dylan Stewart, why if I'm Lenore Seller, why if I'm Nick Harbor, why would I come back and continuously believe in Shane Beamer to think that we can do something here? The only thing that I would do to stay here for another year is if you double my NIL money from last year. That's the only reason that I would want to stay here because, yes, I'm playing in the SEC. That's cool. But we're getting battered week after week. There's no plan. We blew the whole load in the first half. We had all these good plays to catch Texas A&M off guard. And guess what? We had nothing else. You got the rest of the game plan? That was the whole game plan, coach. That's all I had.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's when you consistently see Shane Beamer do this, I believe, because I think Lenore Sellers has the opportunity to be good, but I think he's going to get looked at as Anthony Richardson now. He's going to be lumped into those Trey Lance conversations where a guy who has all this talent, but we just haven't seen it consistently at the college level. Right. He needs to stay back for another year, and he needs to enter the transfer portal. He is the transfer portal quarterback number one for me that needs to get the hell out their situation, get out of that toxic relationship, go find greener grass, and go water it over there. Because Shane Beamer's not developing a goddamn thing in South Carolina. The only thing he's developing is his paycheck, and he wins just enough games for everyone to be like, oh, yeah, I'm good. I get it. He won 35 games, the fastest at any coach at South Carolina at that program. Cool. But now what's next? Now that we understand you're competent and you can do decent, you can do basic okay, now are you going to elevate me? Okay? We were in shambles. You built a foundation. I don't know if it's solid or not, but we're going to see if we can build from that. This is the step, and we're already seeing that with little cracks at this foundation. Can we build from that? You're getting these guys in here, but now guys are leaving because you got this ego. You think, oh, yeah, I'm going to build this good team. I'm going to be this great coach. You're still playing coach. You are not a good coach. And that is why I just think Shane Beamer is one of the worst coaches in South Carolina, in the country, and Dabo's very close behind. Don't let me get started on Dabo Swinney either. So
yeah, it's kind of a sad state of South Carolina football, just the state, because both of them are not doing.
In general is just trash.
Carolina,
right, North and South.
North and South. That's true. Well, and then like you see that video of him going into the tunnel at halftime, Shane Beamer, and he's like, it's like, bro, there's 2 more quarters, dude. There's 2 more quarters of football,
and you guys got
anything yet. Yeah, you got shut out in the second half. Now you're 3-7, so your best bet is going to be 5-7. I think they were ranked like 11th or 12th to start the season, and like you're barely 11th, and you're not even 11th or 12th in the SEC at this point. Like it's just bad. It's bad, and yeah, I mean Virginia Tech, I wouldn't even give them a call. Like Franklin's a better hire. There's a lot better hires you can do at Virginia Tech than Shane Beamer, and like you said, there's talent there. I mean. Most games, you may have the best offensive player and the best defensive player on the field, and Sellers and Stewart. And it's like, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. Like, you still just get worked. And then yesterday, I mean, like I said, it would be an epic collapse, and it was. Like, how do you don't even score? You don't even get a field goal in the second half to kind of like make things a little bit tight. You get a field goal, you might have won that game. It was 31-30 was the ending score. It's like, I don't know. And then you got gifted a fumble at the end because it looked like Texas A&M was just going to put it away.
Right.
You go up 38-30, and you get gifted a field goal. Or you get gifted a fumble. And I think you don't even get to midfield. Like, you don't even get past midfield on that drive. It's like,
and it was struggling to get a first down. Like, they got that big fourth down conversion, and Nick Harbor gets hurt on that catch. And then it's like, all right, can we do something else? And it was like, no, that pass rush of Texas A&M was just getting after them, right? Gotcha. And it's like, this is what I expected answer Shane Beamer to be. Well, if you look at like other coaches got this, and I'm like, what are you doing in the building? Right. I don't hear Iowa ever complaining about having less than. You know what they do? Right. They strap their bootstraps up, and they tie them tight, and they go to work. Yeah, they're going to compete with all these teams that are flashy and all that. So we're hard-nosed football. What is the identity of South Carolina football? Everyone was talking about Beamer ball. But what actually is Beamer ball? Beamer ball is losing and being lucky every 3 years to get a big win for them. What is a signature win for Shane Beamer? Okay, like, what is it? We are forgetting these signature wins that he had. Is it Kentucky? Is it Clemson?
Is it Kentucky? Oh my gosh. Clemson, but a 3-loss Clemson. I don't know. Like, Clemson the last couple of years, like, you could take those wins, and those are big wins because I guess Clemson made the playoff last year. They made the playoff because they're in the ACC.
Right.
Like, and so it's like, I don't know what their signature win is. Yeah, he's kind of gotten the program to a better spot than what was it? Muschamp was there before then, but it's like, okay, it's like, is that supposed to be like an accomplishment? You got it out of the ditch, but then you kind of like, I think the worst thing you could say is like, it looked like that the team and the fans were kind of expecting what happened yesterday. Like you said yesterday, like they were expecting it. It's like you're expecting to give up a 27-point lead. And so it was like, and then you hear like the commentary, and I watch all these people talk, especially like people from the South. They're like, yeah, that didn't shock me. Like I kind of saw that coming. I knew A&M would come back. I thought they would still win the game. I think there was some guy yesterday that said he never thought South Carolina was going to win that game. It's like, even they're up 31-3, or 30-3, and you never thought they would win the game. And so it's like, yeah, it's pretty bad when your program is bad that you have a 27-point lead and your fan base and people think they're still going to lose.
That is the epitome of the Atlanta Falcons and the New England.
Yeah. I mean,
worse.
But worse. Yeah. Cause at least the Falcons be like, okay, well, we lost to Brady and Belichick. Like, no, you just lost. I mean, A&M's a good team. We'll see how good they are at the end of the year. But yeah, that was pathetic. And it was just like, you just kind of watching, and it was basically halfway through the third quarter. You're like, yeah, A&M's going to win this game. Like, A&M's going to win it.
And
it was like 30-17.
Such a debacle. Like, you can't fire him right now.
Yeah,
you just busted up all this money to extend this guy, and now it's like that was so embarrassing. It was a clown show,
big time.
And that's all I want to say on that. Like, we can move on from there because it's embarrassing. It's appalling to even talk about. To be honest,
right.
Let's talk about your USC Trojans and the big victory they got over Iowa. And what did this win show you? And is there more belief going into Oregon game that like maybe you guys can make a splash this year?
What it showed me is like, so the defense for USC is still not great, but what they have done, at least in the last 3 weeks, they've given up 6 total points in the last 3 weeks in the second half. So at least they make adjustments. Like, yes, shutting down Iowa on Iowa's offense in the rain is not like a huge accomplishment. But like, you go into this halftime, it's 21-10, and I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty bleak. I was like, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's raining. We're a passing team. Like, we can run the ball decently, but we're on our third string running back. It's like, I didn't have a lot of hope, but you come out of the locker room in the second half, your defense shuts them down. And yeah, I mean, the offense was still able to do their thing. I mean, I don't know if you're Mayavi, you just don't throw the ball every play to Mekhi Lemon. Like, that guy he was making circus catches in the rain. I was like, this guy's just unreal. So you just throw the ball to him, and then Lane's pretty good. But it showed at least like they can win these kind of games. Like it's raining, you're playing a tough physical team, you're down 21-7, 21-10, and you can come back. So it shows that like at least you have like the physicality and like you have like the culture to win those kind of games. So that was huge for me. They obviously can't get down 21-7 or 21-10 to Oregon because that would probably be a wrap. So let's not have that result next week. But it just showed that, yeah, there's definitely there's growth in this team, and I think this team is getting better on defense. And I was just happy to see them win these kind of games. They call them like Big Ten games. So it was good to see them win these kind of games. But like I said, you got to clean up the first half because the last 3 games, you're giving up all your points in the first half and you're having to come back from behind. It's not going to work on the road in Eugene against Oregon. So you got to clean up the first half. But good to see you guys can make it. Good to see they can make adjustments and the defense can get big stops. And the offense, as long as it's a clean, like even in the rain, that offense is going to move the football. I don't really care who they're playing. They're going to move the football. But your defense can't just not show up in the first half and then think they can just kind of clamp things down against an Oregon team in the second half.
Mm-hmm. Do you think right now, if you have to say, you think you can, one, let's start with this. Do you think you could cover plus 3.5 against Oregon?
Is that what the spread is? I
don't know what the spread is. I'm just giving you a spread right now.
Okay.
I can look for it.
Plus 3.5. So Oregon's a good team. I don't think they're as good as like past Oregon teams. They're banged up on offense. Like the Corian Moore is kind of banged up. The tight end's been in and out of the lineup. So they're not 100% healthy. Their defense is pretty good. Like I said, if they can play a full game on defense like they've played in the second halves, they can hang with Oregon. I don't think this Oregon team's like a world. Like they're not like, it's not last year's Oregon team, I don't think. But if it's 3.5, I don't know. I probably just stay away from that bet. I don't like to bet USC, just because I don't like to lose the bet and lose the game. So yeah, so it's like I don't like to bet my own team. I don't even bet on the Patriots, even when they were rolling with Brady. It's like I didn't like to bet on them because it's like you lose your bet and you lose the game. It's like double. But I think they could cover 3.5. It's an afternoon game. It's not a primetime night game, so I think that helps a little bit. But yeah, they got to play a full game because I think the offense will be able to move the ball on Oregon's defense. I don't think that's going to be an issue. Is can we get stops? Can you get stops? Can you slow down Oregon? They run the ball really well. The run defense is still an issue for USC, but I think they can keep it close. 3.5 would be probably too small of a spread for me to just for me to say that they can cover it. If it's like 5.5 or 6, then I would bet the cover.
All right, how about this? I just looked it up. Minus 8.5 for Oregon and 58.5 on the total.
Oh, minus 8.5. Yeah, I would take the plus 8.5. Wow, I didn't think it was going to be that big of a spread. Like
this is early line, so this is where it's opening at. I think this might settle in around
probably about 7-ish, 6.5. Yeah. I mean, because it's like these. It's not like USC hasn't gone to Oregon before. They've been playing Oregon for decades. It's just a Pac-12 game, basically. So, yeah. So that's a big spread. But yeah, I think I would take the plus 8.5. I'd probably take I'd probably take over 58. I think it gets up there because both these teams can score, and both the defenses are not the greatest. I think Oregon's defense is good, but then again, like who has Oregon beaten? When they played Indiana kind of moved the ball all over them on offense. And then their best win, I think maybe you could probably say the best win for both teams was Iowa. Maybe for USC is Michigan at home, but it's like neither one of these teams have like super great wins. So I think it's more of an even matchup. It's just the factor that it's in Oregon is the big thing. They show out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're good. I don't know. Was Penn State still third when they played them, I guess?
They were. Yeah. So their best win, like rank-wise, was Penn State, but then Penn State went and lost like 5 in a row after that. So
yeah, once they lost what's his name?
They lost Aller. Yeah.
So they got USC and Washington. Oregon does the last 2 games. So
yeah, they got a tough stretch to finish out because Washington's solid. I think it's at Washington too, right?
Yeah, it's at Washington.
Yeah.
So it should be fun. You got the
Should be fun.
primetime CBS game, which I missed that so much at 3:30 on CBS. Perfect
I love
time.
those. I love those in the SEC. I like them now in the Big Ten. They were at a terrible game yesterday. And we were at like Michigan State versus Penn State. It's like, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
why are we at this game? And maybe they have to go to like not play favorites and just be at like the big teams games. But it's like, I don't know. There was a lot of years in the SEC. I saw you guys at Tuscaloosa every other weekend. So it's like, I don't know if that was the same contract in the SEC.
Definitely not the same in the SEC. They definitely had to revamp it for sure.
Yeah. I think it's a good trajectory for the team. I'm not super confident that they can win that game, but I think they can keep it close.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't realize Clemson played on Friday. They beat.
Yeah, they upset Louisville. Yeah,
by 1 point.
Upset. Yeah, by 1 point. Yeah, I think Louisville missed a couple field goals to win that game, or missed a field goal towards the end to take the lead. And
I'm disappointed in Cincy, man. I really thought they were going to have a chance to really sneak into the college football playoff. Not good enough. I mean, again, just kind of going back to our conversation last week, man. The Big 12 is just not good enough. But like BYU bounced back this week big time against over TCU, which that's a quality win because I think they're like a 6-win team. And they beat them 44-13. Utah dominated Baylor.
Yeah.
Big win.
Yeah. Door's still open for Big 12 to get 2 teams in. But I don't know. Because BYU probably is going to play Texas Tech again, and Texas Tech looked great again yesterday. So they probably lose that game again. So I don't know if you get a 2-loss Big 12 team as a second team in the playoff. I don't know. That'd be hard, especially when
it's such an anomaly though. Like it's like you go from like just dominating teams, to be honest, at BYU, and then against TCU or not TCU, Texas Tech, they just couldn't put up more than 7. Like, I mean,
they got dominated. Yeah.
The least amount of points they put up all year before that game was 24.
Yeah.
So they couldn't even put up 14. So it's kind of crazy. And they play Cincy this week. So BYU plays Cincy this week, which is, again, if they can get that dub, that's going to be another quality win for them.
Right.
And we should be on track for that rematch in the Big 12 championship. Navy, I really wish Navy would have beat Notre Dame last week, because then that would have been awesome. Would have been really strong. But I mean, they had a pretty good win against
against USF. Yeah.
USF. Of course, then they just keep. I mean, every time USF tried to keep coming back into the game, Navy said, "Nah, we got something for you. Like, we got here's another missile for you," and then just like. But I mean, even USF scored again late, but it wasn't enough. And Navy.
That was a fun game. Yeah.
I don't know if Navy can sneak into college football.
They could get that Group of 5 bid, because I don't know who.
No one wants it.
Like, no one wants it. Like, it's them. I think it's like JMU.
I think it's JMU.
Texas.
I need JMU to get in because I love JMU. This is also going to be. This will also, if Bob Chesney gets that platform to make the college football play with JMU, he is going to. He's going to explode, and he's probably in line for that Virginia Tech job, just because I feel like Virginia Tech's about to get. Now that Virginia Tech did not win yesterday, so that could help them by losing to Florida State to keep Norvell in power
and keep Franklin open. Yeah, right. Yeah. I saw that someone talking about that. I also saw a report that Chesney has been talking to UCLA.
Oh,
that'd be a nice hire for UCLA. You get someone from over there who knows how to recruit. Yeah, because UCLA just needs someone in the building that knows what they're doing. Like they had Chip Kelly, who didn't want to be a head coach anymore in college. Yeah. And then Deshaun Foster was in over his head. It was too soon for him to take that jump. It was like he was too young and it was too soon. He hadn't had enough coaching experience to be a head coach. But I think that'd be a good hire for Chesney. He'd probably do what Cignetti did in Indiana, bring some of your JMU guys over to UCLA. And just
good breeder school, to be honest with you. Breeder school, they identify where you see guys who are winning, and they're winning at smaller levels, and I think that's something you have to look at. You have to look at Montana and Montana State. These are two programs that are winning consistently over the last couple of years. And what are they doing to do that? Right? Obviously, like if you can think about this, winning in obviously is this D1AA. I get it, but they're becoming like the top teams of D1AA. And so it's like, how can you, first of all, how do you get guys to come to Montana? Right. And then the guys that you get there, they have to have a certain edge about them to come here and play football in the cold, in the minus temperatures, when you got, maybe not be the best. I'm not going to disrespect Montana and Montana State or North Dakota or North Dakota State. Right. But when you got guys and you built a program that's thriving on excellence and that's going to bring football excellence, how do you build that over time? And so you look for guys who are program builders and to try to implement that at a bigger stage, because we might have, a little bit more resources, but at the same time, we don't have all the resources. So what can you do when you just have this amount of resources, and we can win with this amount of resources with what you do in instilling your program? So it's that's, I think, what you should do if you're a mid-tier team in a top-tier league, is look at the lower levels and say, hey, take that risk of someone who has been a head coach. I think it's cool, to look for the next head coach if they're a coordinator, but I think you strictly should look at guys who have won at smaller programs as an head coach, who understands all the administrative things, all of the pressure that you need to be as a head coach that has thrived at it. I mean, Bob Chesney was at Holy Cross for tons of years and winning there. So look at a guy who has a 10-year record, who's been able, because that's also a mentality thing of, how can I be able to stay at one college for an extended period of time and be successful? Right. That's something that's wow, he's won at Holy Cross for a decade. Right. I get it. It's Holy Cross, but he still was there for a long time. He figured it out, found a solution, and then was able to apply it over and over again. That's something that you need your head coach to be able to do. You don't want that hot, that hot girl that you see right away, dang, she's great. But you find out she can't cook. She don't know how to, take care of the dogs. She don't know how to do none of that. But she was the hot candidate. She was the hot one on the block right now. But then, this girl over here, Kurt Signetti, she know how to cook. She can clean. She knows how to take care of the dog. She can take care of a bird. She can take care of whatever animal you put in front of her. She can fry fish. She can do all of it. And you're wow, I never had this before. But it's but I've been here this whole time. Right. I learned from Nick
I
Saban.
agree.
I did all this.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, I agree. And I think that would be a really good hire for UCLA if they did that. And I mean, just to look around looking around the coaching tree, it sounds like Virginia Tech is almost like Franklin or bust. And Franklin's kind of holding out hope that Norvell gets fired, because then he probably would be a shoo-in at Florida State. But I mean, there's other good candidates out there if they want to look around. We keep hearing Florida's hiring some guy today. There was news big news is going to drop. Florida's going to hire a guy. I can't imagine that's Kiffin then if they're going to hire a guy today, because it'd be weird for Kiffin to just jump ship when they're basically in the playoff. They just got to win out and beat Mississippi State, and they're in the playoff. But you never know. He did jump ship on Tennessee back in the day. So it could happen. Maybe that was a little audition last night, although it wasn't a good audition because they almost lost at home to Florida. So, maybe it wasn't a great audition.
Florida can be, man. Florida just has talent. You got to get that right person in the building, and it's there is honestly that people are trying to hype up that the way how Lane Kiffin has been acting and reacting to certain things. It feels like it's a farewell. And it's let this man try to get Ole Miss to a spot they've never been to first before you kind of start, doing that. He's been winning. I think he's 10 wins now or 9.
I think they're 9, but they got their classic cupcake next week, so they'll get to 10. Who they got next week? Ole Miss. Where are they at here?
They play. Don't see them.
I think they're off actually next week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they played their team last week. I think they played the Citadel or something like that last week. Yeah, they played the Citadel last week. They're off this week, and then they play. I think it's at Mississippi State, So yeah, Mississippi State will be fighting for a bowl spot though, so maybe they're trying to play harder than that. It's still a rivalry. You got the Egg Bowl, so yeah. But I think they win that game, and they win that game, they're in probably one-loss team. Because that was the thing last night. Like if they would have lost to Florida, I know they're only a 2-loss team. I think they're out. I don't know because what their best wins at Oklahoma, which looks good, but that's about it. So I think they probably would have been out if they lose to Florida last night, but they didn't. I don't know what to make of their team.
LSU. They beat a ranked LSU at the time.
A ranked LSU.
They beat a ranked Tulane.
Yeah. I'm saying Tulane's still alive, I guess, for the G5 bid too.
They had and then their only loss is a close loss to Georgia, and Georgia keeps getting better, so that loss looks better now.
Yeah, it's a good loss. Yeah. So maybe I just don't know if they have enough meat on the bones of their schedule. But I guess at Oklahoma is a good win, especially since Oklahoma turned around and beat Bama. And are you going to put Oklahoma in the playoff without putting in Ole Miss? That'd be kind of hard to do. So maybe they would have been okay. But if I'm Kiffin, I might stay. I think Florida might be the better offer right now because it sounds like LSU is a bit of a mess. Like they got the governor trying to get in. They don't really know who's leading the charge there. They fired their athletic director. Like it's a bit of a mess there, and you can end up getting there. And it's like, okay, well, now you got to clean this up, and you got to clean this up while we're expecting you to win 9-10 games a year. So it's like it's not the easiest thing to do. You could stay at Ole Miss and win 9-10 and win 8-9-10 games a year, and they love you, and you're like freaking Jesus there. So it's like, I don't know. For him, I'd probably stay away from LSU. I think it'd be Florida or you stay at Ole Miss at this point because I think LSU is just kind of a mess right now, and they got to figure things out first before I would really want to go there, unless they're just going to throw in just an unbelievable bag at you, which they could. I guess they could. 16, 17 a year, that'd be hard to turn down, but I think he stays or he goes to Florida. I think at the end of the day.
Yeah. We'll see. It's like, again, like I like the idea of him staying at Ole Miss, and like he got the opportunity at Ole Miss to school and made him a powerhouse. But at the same time, it's like I feel like you can see that maybe he's gone as far as he could at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, I think their ceiling is like first round playoff. Like I don't see them with what the guys you get at Ole Miss contending for like the semifinals. I just don't see it.
They just don't got that. They don't got the reservoir. They don't have the reserves, to be honest.
Yeah. And that's with Chambliss or Simmons at quarter. I just don't see the. Yeah. I thought last year was their best team because they were good on defense and they had Jackson Dart, but they choked last year. So I don't know. I think he has reached their ceiling, but it's also just like, I mean, your ceiling could be a playoff team every year or contend for a playoff. You can go to LSU and you could be like Brian Kelly and be out in 3 years.
Yeah. So, or James Franklin.
Or James Franklin, you could be there for a decade, and your best win is like, I don't know who even knows. And you won 2 playoff games. It was against Boise State and SMU.
I would say at least he's beat Georgia. He's
beat Georgia. Yeah.
I don't know if he's beaten Alabama. Has he?
I don't know, but he's beaten LSU. Like he's won some good games. Like he had their first 10-win season. They had back-to-back 10-win seasons, and I think it's the first time in program history they've ever done that. So it's like he's definitely taken that program to higher than they've really ever been. But like, what's the next ladder? Is the next ladder like getting to like the semifinals? I don't know. I just don't know if that's possible there.
Well, Justin Herbert is the latest quarterback to go into the medical tent today.
Jeez, just a freaking
not a good day for me.
Not a good day.
But let's talk about good quarterbacks, but particularly in the college football ranks. And let's talk about the Heisman watch, because I mean, the Heisman race this year is just no clear-cut guy. I think there are some people that probably are leading the pack right now, but it doesn't feel like it don't feel Heisman, if that makes sense. Like, it don't feel like it's like, oh yeah, for sure Heisman.
Yeah.
And the top two names I would think that are probably actually top 3. We'll say top 3 names, these quarterbacks. Marcel Reed of Texas A&M. I don't necessarily think yesterday was a Heisman like moment for him, but he did complete a big time comeback and balled out. So he's definitely up there winning top team, especially if they beat whoever the rest of the win the SEC championship and go the rest of the way. I think that could definitely fuel his case.
Right.
Fernando Mendoza from Indiana, I think, is probably the favorite. High register, like, number 2 team in the country. But they beat Oregon, so that's a big key victory for them. He had that big comeback victory against Penn State, so that's like a Heisman moment for him.
Right.
If he beats Ohio State and he is the catalyst for that win, I think he will take home the trophy. I think
I can see that.
A defining moment.
Yeah.
So, and number 3 for Heisman, it was Ty Simpson yesterday.
Right.
Well, it was before
it
going
was
in yesterday.
Going in, yeah.
But now number 3 on the Heisman race is Haynes King.
Yes.
He has been playing phenomenal football. I mean, he reminds me so much of Leonard Riley a little bit in terms of just his demeanor, his play style, his grittiness. But I think, again, so a key game towards the end of the year, I think that's really going to help people talk about it, because he doesn't get talked about enough, right? Like,
he doesn't.
Tech lost last week, but if Georgia Tech beats Georgia in their rivalry game in 2 weeks, that could be the game to where it could help push him to Heisman finalist for sure. I can't say front runner, but for sure in New York for the presentation. But I think he gets snubbed just because of the school he plays for and not getting that coverage. It's publicity. Like, who's in front of your face? And based off of that metric, it's probably Fernando Mendoza, who's probably going to win the Heisman, because I think it also makes it look cool that it's a team. Like, he's the catalyst for really, I guess, continually keep Indiana up there, and that offense is scoring a lot of points. So,
No, I agree with your top 3. I love that you put in Haynes King, because I think Haynes King means more to his team than any of these other guys. Like, you take Haynes King up with Georgia Tech, what are they, like a 5-loss team, like a 7-win team? Like, I think he does that much for his team. Mendoza, like, he's probably the favorite, like you said. Like, everybody says his Heisman moment was last week, that drive against Penn State, but Penn State's not a great team this year, so I think he could have his Heisman moment would be beating Ohio State. Like, they win the Big Ten, they go like 13-0 and beat Ohio State, and like, he probably is your Heisman Trophy winner. But I mean, like yesterday, he goes for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, but it's against like a bad Wisconsin team at home. So it's like, how much it's like, how much stock do you give that? I think he had like an okay game against UCLA at home. I think Sayan's a good quarterback. I've never loved him as a Heisman Trophy winner, because I don't even know if he's the top 3-4 player on his own team.
Oh, he's definitely not.
So it's like,
they got freaks though. So that's okay.
They got freaks. Yeah, because I mean, you got like Jeremiah Smith, Caleb Downs, Reese, Tate. Like, you can make a case that he's not even top 5 on his own team. Is like, and then we're gonna give this guy the Heisman Trophy, and he's just playing with like a freaking all-star team. So I don't know about that. Reed, that comeback is going to help his case. A lot of people thought he lost it because of the first half. Was like, well, there's 2 halves to a game, so his second half could definitely do it. But yeah, I mean, King versus Stockton in 2 weeks, that could be like, they have their old school shootout and they show up like that. Like, maybe one of them gets to New York and gets that bid there, because whoever wins that game can kind of be like one of the leaders there. And then one of the guy I'd probably throw in there is Jeremiah Love. Just got to get some non-quarterback action in there. I thought he had a really good game yesterday against Pitt. It was really good 2 weeks ago against Navy. And I need to see somebody there that's not a quarterback. Like, we can't just have all quarterbacks there. So I think if you're going to go non-quarterback, Jeremiah Love's probably your best pick. But yeah, I'm with you. Mendoza, it's probably his award to lose, because it's like, say they go to the Big Ten championship game and he gets exposed and lays an egg against Ohio State. then it's like, damn, who's winning then? So that could be interesting. And and I don't know if there's anybody, like any candidates outside of this group. I think Simpson probably fell off yesterday. I think him winning the award is going to be difficult. I'm trying to think if there's any, but like everybody keeps saying that linebacker Rodriguez for Texas Tech, but I just can't imagine a linebacker.
He's not getting enough. Again, it's the publicity. He's not getting enough marketability for himself. Like that's how Travis Hunter stole the Heisman.
The Heisman, yeah.
Because they
understood I agree.
To create a Heisman campaign. But to your point, to when you talked about, you said Gunnar Stockton, right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at his numbers now. I mean, you look at it, what he's been putting together. He's only for 2,200 yards, 19 passing touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, and he's had 8 rushing touchdowns along with 350 yards rushing. So 30 touchdowns, or just under 29 touchdowns on the season. 90.1 QBR, 3rd in the country. So it's a decent case. Obviously, Georgia's winning. If they win, going on to beat Texas A&M, make it to the SEC championship game, there's a good case for him to at least get to New York. But even still, like I still think it's a Marcel Reed. I still think it's Fernando Mendoza, Haynes King. But even when I say Haynes King, I kind of don't even believe it myself, just because I know how we are. So if anything, if they're going to do 3 or 4, like I think if they do 4 people as finalists, I can see Haynes King sneaking in there, and then I can see Jeremiah Love. So like I could see those 4, or I mean, they might even give Jeremiah Smith like in there for finalists. So, but even still, he's not even like. I mean, he's great. Don't get me wrong. Like I think the same thing with Julian saying. Like I think is kind of better. Like I think Julian Saying will be a great NFL player. He's going to be a great Sunday player. But he doesn't necessarily need to be the Heisman winner in college. I think he's going to be one of those guys that fall into that category who's like a good player that I think he's still ascending. He's very smart. He knows exactly where to go with the football. I do. Obviously, the little knock on Ohio State quarterbacks is a little going to be interesting with him. It's like, well, obviously playing really good because he has the all Avengers at receiver, right? And so it's how can he translate that to the NFL? Like we thought, CJ Stroud was going to break that Ohio State curse. Now we've seen a bit of a regression, and now he got a concussion. And so it's like,
Justin Fields, a lot of guys,
I mean, Justin Fields.
Yeah, just a running back playing quarterback, basically. It's like, I agree. And that was kind of the Alabama quarterback for a minute too. Like you're just like, dang, you guys are playing with an all-star team. Like every game you go into, you have a better roster than the other team. Like before the game even kicks off, you have a better roster than the other team. So it's like, how are you going to do when that's not the case every week?
Yeah. And I mean, that's same for Joe Burrow. But then Joe Burrow low-key has the same thing still. Like, hey, not verbatim how he had at LSU, but they definitely try to replicate that. And
just give him Chase.
Chase, and they do really good. Obviously, they could have just had a Penei Sewell.
Right. Yeah, they could have.
But
maybe he wouldn't have been injured as much. His numbers might not be as good, but maybe he wouldn't be injured every other year if they just drafted Sewell instead of Chase.
Right. But could you imagine Jamar Chase as a Detroit Lion? Would they drafted Jamar Chase, would they even?
Yeah.
Would Amon-Ra St. Brown still be there? I mean, obviously
he was like a 5th round pick, so you still could draft him in the 5th round. So,
but that's the thing. But would you want to once you met that quota of quarterback that you want, especially at that top tier?
Yeah.
So,
that's a good question.
It's interesting. The Heisman race is definitely going to be interesting. A little lackluster, not the sizzle we all expect. There's no, when RG3 had a breakout year where Cam Newton was just doing something improbable, not like a Tim Tebow, your Marcus Mariotas, your Jaden Daniels, even though he was not on the most winning of teams, but he was had these insane moments that come back against Florida and just doing insane things. And there's not really a person doing that yet. So which I think could set up for a grand finish. And I hope there's a grand finish, because if there's not a grand finish, then it's like,
right? It's pretty.
Okay, and
Right here, Mendoza, you could have it. Yeah.
And I think Gus Johnson, and then Mendoza wins it. Gus Johnson is going to be the catalyst for helping him win,
right?
Because he made
lost
that
his
moment
mind.
because he was so iconic with his call
Right.
at the end of the game. So,
yeah, I think there's potential because a lot of these like Mendoza and will play Sayin, Reed could play Simpson, Stockton will play King, Reed could play Stockton. So there's potential where it's like you're duking it out for a Heisman. That could be interesting. With Love, they don't have a last game of the season because Notre Dame doesn't want to join a conference, so he won't be showing up on the last week of the season.
Y'all played already, right? USC and Notre Dame?
Yeah, they played like 3-4 weeks ago.
I'm so used to y'all playing later in the year, so that's why I was like, wait, my brain was like, did that play?
It could be the last time they play for a while too, because that contract hasn't been extended. Oof. So, I mean, Notre Dame could just join the Big Ten, and that game will be played every year forever. But Notre Dame wants to stay independent because they could schedule whoever they want,
right?
And kind of set up their schedule where it's like they can lose their first 2 games and still be ranked. And now that they start off 0-2, and they'll probably win out and get to the playoff. They're almost like that. I think they play Syracuse and Stanford to end the year, so they're pretty much like a shoo-in to make the playoff. But yeah, so yeah, I think the Heisman's wide open. I think there could be a lot of guys that could potentially win it, but Mendoza has the best opportunity to kind of just solidify it if he could just go and beat Ohio State.
Okay. Yeah. I want to run through the next week's schedule with you and then give me a win or loss for either team, or just tell me who you think will win this game. I'm going to skip through a lot of games because next week is going to be a nasty slate. Okay, it's a nasty slate next week.
I say, yeah, it's not a great one,
but I think there's a couple upsets possibly on the horizon. Michigan, Maryland.
It's at Maryland.
Yes.
Okay, that could be it. I mean, Michigan struggled yesterday with Northwestern, so I don't love this Michigan team, and maybe they're looking ahead to Ohio State in the final week. They're trying to get 5 in a row. What's the spread on that? Or is it not there yet?
No, it doesn't have it on here yet.
Okay. Michigan wins, but I think Maryland keeps it close.
Okay. All right. Where I was just at. Tennessee and Florida.
Tennessee and Florida. Is that at Florida?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, Florida showed some fight last night. I thought they kind of gave up on the season after that Kentucky game when they got ran out, or where they got like just hammered by Kentucky, but they showed fight last night. Tennessee doesn't like to play defense, so I think this will be a high scoring game. I could see Florida winning at home. So
I kind of like Florida.
I kind of like Florida as well. I just don't like Tennessee, like their defense. And then their quarterback's just very erratic. Aguilar, like he can make some plays, but then he'll throw some interceptions too.
Can we see an upset against LSU and Western Kentucky? 8-2 Western Kentucky versus a 6-4 LSU next week.
That would be hilarious if that happened. I would love that, but like, who are you going to blame? Because Brian Kelly's not there to blame anymore, so you got to blame somebody. I don't know about that. I'd love to see the spread. I'd probably take Western Kentucky. It's probably going to be like 2 touchdowns at least, but it'd be interesting. That'd be hilarious. I would laugh if that happened. That would be pretty good.
Here's another game I think has potential for upset alert. Virginia Tech and Miami. In Virginia Tech. Enter Sandman, baby. Enter Sandman.
Right. Maybe they hire James Franklin by the end of the week, and some of these guys are playing for a roster spot to stick around before Franklin tells them to go jump in the portal. It could be. Miami's prone, especially late in the season. We've already seen it twice. They lose these games they're supposed to win. They'll probably be a 2-touchdown favorite. So Miami's prone to lose these games. I just don't know how much fight is left in Virginia Tech. So I don't know. That'd be a tough upset to pick, but I wouldn't be shocked by that upset. I got an upset for you though. I like this one here, maybe potentially. Mizzou at Oklahoma.
Yeah, I was eyeing that one really hard because I think Drinkowitz is definitely auditioning, and I think he's going to get a good job next year. He's going to get a pay increase for sure. Just depends on where it's going to be at. I'm thinking it's probably going to be LSU. Is my
I think
guess.
I think Lane tells them no, and they've been told by other people no. So I think they may like settle. I don't think it's settled because I think Drinkwitz's a good coach, but I think they end up settling for Drinkwitz.
Yeah, that Oklahoma's offense is just not good.
Right. Like if you can move the ball and score some points, I think you can. Yeah.
And do you think this win could be enough for Missouri to make a late run at it? To get into the
they're not ranked right now. I'd like to see where they're ranked if they end up getting ranked this week, because to go from unranked all the way to playoff with 3 losses.
They're
tough.
ranked 21st, I think, in the
AP. Yeah.
So I mean, they got a close loss to Vandy,
right?
A close loss to Alabama. They beat Auburn. I mean, yeah, their wins are not great.
Say this would be their best win by far. Would be at Oklahoma,
but they have low loss differential except for against Texas A&M.
Yeah, I could say A&M. Yeah.
So
I think they're on their backup quarterback now too.
Yeah,
Spurbuela got hurt. Yeah.
I think maybe one of the games of the week, I'm hoping, for the ACC next week outside of USC Oregon. But we got Louisville and SMU, 2 7-3 teams at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
I think that should be a pretty good game.
I think SMU's still alive to get to the championship game. So, yeah, they're still playing for something. I think Louisville had been knocked out because of the 2 conference losses these last 2 weeks, but SMU still alive. That could be a nice game in Dallas. Yeah,
I like it. I think I'm gonna go with SMU there.
Yeah,
for that game.
Same.
I think Colorado loses by 50 and they fire Prime, but that's just me.
Who are they playing next week?
Arizona State. Even though Arizona State, their quarterback situation is a little dicey at the moment. But, I mean, so is Colorado. They're going to burn Juju's red shirt because he's going to start the rest of the year.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just like, why?
What are we doing?
Why? Yeah.
You're not in a bowl game. Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's why I wouldn't be shocked. I could see Prime maybe not getting fired, but I could see it be like, mutual. Like he's just, What about Pitt at Georgia Tech? It's a nice one in the ACC.
That is a really good game. I think Pitt lost this past week.
Notre Dame hammered them pretty good yesterday.
So that's definitely. I think they're going to have a good bounce back game because I mean Georgia Tech and Pitt they have very similar like mentalities,
right?
With each other. So I do like that game.
Yeah, just physical teams. Yeah, they like to. Yeah.
So, like, this is what I think is going to happen. I think Georgia Tech I just don't think they're at that level yet I think they can win. They'll beat Pitt, but I don't think they'll be able to, physical, regen, right? And then, then you got Georgia coming in, and then it's like, fuck. We already went through the schedule. Like, yes, they've been proven they've done a lot of good stuff. Obviously, it's a rivalry game, so they're going to get up for it. But then it's like by that fourth quarter, can you go another 7 overtimes again after how physical you guys have been all season long and maybe not have the depth, the talent to be able to sustain a full season and then go another 15 rounds with Georgia?
Right.
So
one thing with Georgia Tech, I know Georgia's a rivalry game, but this game's more important for them making the play because it's like they win this game, they're in the conference championship game. So it's obviously you want to beat Georgia, but you could lose to Georgia and still win the ACC and get in because it's not a conference loss. But I know. Yeah, I know Brent Key's not going to look at it that way. He's going to look at it like, no, we want to beat both these teams, which is obviously the way to look at it. But don't get caught looking ahead to Georgia and forget about Pitt is the only thing.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, it's they definitely need both wins. I think for them, in order to just make sure they secure their spot, no matter the outcome in the ACC championship, beating Georgia, beating Pitt, they should. I don't know if Pitt will still be ranked next week. Probably not, but a top 28 team, top 30 team in the country, and then beating Georgia, a top 5 team in the country, I think those 2 wins should solidify you.
Yeah, they'd be a lock, I think. Whether they win the ACC or not, I think they'd be a lock at that point.
Right, exactly. So I think that's why these next two games are pivotal. But I just don't know if they have the attrition to be able to last. And I don't want to disrespect them whatsoever because I think I really love what Brent Key is doing at Georgia Tech. It's hard for me to say that. It's like hard for me to say that as a Georgia fan. But like what he's turned this program into, he came from Georgia, came from Alabama. He understands what you need to do to be able to build tough teams. They're tough, hard-nosed football team. His biggest test for Brent Key will be next year. Because what I said before, right, is that transition era from after you bring in that quarterback, that people from your first to build that foundation, who's going to be the next person that you're going to be able to take that foundation to the next level.
Agreed. Yeah. And I mean, to be honest, if Kiffin tells you no at LSU, why aren't you on the phone with Brent Key? He can build a culture there. Like he's going to build up your defense. He's going to run the football. He's not going to try to be flashy and just, score 40, 50 points a game. You could do a lot worse than Brent Key at LSU, I think. And I think you did with Brian Kelly, but
I would say Brent Key is a good fit for Arkansas.
Yeah.
But because I feel like Brent Key is what they thought Sam Pittman would do at Arkansas.
Right.
Hard-nosed football, bring back the Hawks, you're a Razorbacks, like bring back that mentality. I mean, that's kind of what their mentality has been the last two coaches with Pittman and Molina.
Oh yeah, before that,
it was Molina. So like, they were.
Oh yeah, that guy that said Illinois, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So and they were just about the offensive line, they were about the trenches, and so like that kind of feels like to me what Arkansas should be like, and like so I would find someone that fits that mold, and maybe does it a little dirty, a little cheap, because it was a good. I forget who said it. It may have been Pate or whatever. It's like, we need to know how serious this athletic department is, right? And it's like, are you only serious because you're taking a big swing at a top coach and say we're only going to give you the money? Or are we serious, like no matter what coach we bring in, you're going to get the money? Right. So because that shows you a lot and tells you a lot about that actual team's mentality about being good. We're only going to be good. We're only going to try to be good if we got a guy who we know for sure, will do good with money. Like he needs money and you know what he can do with money. We're not going to give money to a guy we don't know is fully proven what to do with it yet. And that's kind of how I feel like Arkansas might be, or Virginia Tech might do. Like, hey, we're going to invest a bunch in, but we'll make sure we got a guy who knows how to invest this money. But we're not going to give all this money to a guy who is still, young and full of vigor and trying to go crazy, so.
Right. Well, I just don't know if Arkansas is that much of an upgrade over Georgia Tech. Like, I guess if they're going to pay you that much more.
I think Georgia Tech actually has a bigger bank than Arkansas, but that's only if like Tyson, Chicken, and Jerry Jones back up a Brinks truck for that university.
For that, yeah, true. But I was gonna say I want to try to find one more game before we get out of here. Let's see if there's any more games next week.
Obviously, we can talk about the game of the week next week, and that is USC versus
Oregon. Yeah,
at 12 o'clock. Wait, is it 12 o'clock?
It's 12:30 there, so yeah, it's the like the 3:30, 1:30 game.
So I don't know, man. I think the win last week definitely was. I think it's that momentum victory that you guys needed.
Right. Yeah, I think, like I said earlier, I think they can keep it. I think they can contend with Oregon. It's just like you have to change it up a little bit. Like you can't come out in these first halves on defense and just let them run down your throat. Because like you let Oregon get up, you get behind them, they get the crowd behind them, and now you're chasing them. It's not going to go like it did yesterday. So you have to go out. I'd probably take the ball if you win the coin toss, see if you can get a quick touchdown, get an early lead. But yeah, your defense has to play a full game. If the defense could play a full game and not just a half like they've done the last 3 games, then yeah, I think they can contend with them. I think that 8.5, I think they can cover that. But it'll be interesting to see that because this is a huge test for Lincoln Riley. Like, this is like, you win this game and all you have to do is beat UCLA and you're probably in the playoff with wins over Michigan, Iowa, and Oregon. But you lose this game and it's just like, okay, like, all right, well, where are you as a program? Are you guys just a tier 2 Big Ten team? Like, you can never get to that tier 1. So it's a huge game for Lincoln Riley. I think Oregon, as long as they beat Washington their last game of the season, probably gets in at 10-2 either way. But Dan Lanning's not going to think about that. He's going to think about winning every game. So I think they can contend with Oregon, but you got to play a full game on both sides of the football.
With that being said, Oregon having an extra day to prepare.
Yeah. They got to sit there and just scout the entire game yesterday.
Right.
So
I think I'm going to go with Oregon to win 24-21. Late field goal as time expires to win. I think it'll be a close game. I think USC does.
You got them covering then. Yeah.
I do have them covering. It's something different about this Oregon team right now that I just don't like. If they can make a statement, if Dan Lanning can go into his Kirby Smart bag, be about his development, be about playing at the end of the year, playing your best football consistently, and they dominate USC, then something in my blood is going to change. And I'm like, okay, you know what? This Oregon team is going to awaken, and this Oregon team might make a deep run in the college football playoff. Right now, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, because you look at Oregon's schedule, you win at Iowa. It's a good win. It's not a great win. That win at Penn State, I still think that's a good win because Penn State was better then than they are now.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of people are going to look at that and be like, I don't know. Penn State went 6-6 or whatever Penn State ends up being. So they may not get the credit for that win that they thought they would. And a lot of people are kind of like, okay, it's basically Ohio State and Indiana and everybody else. And Oregon wants to be like, well, no, it's all three of us and everybody else. But I don't know. So maybe it is a pretty big game for Oregon as well, because you finished the season 11-1, beating USC, Iowa, Penn State, and Washington. Now you have a decent resume.
It's decent, but that loss, obviously, it's not a bad loss to Indiana. Obviously, they were a top 10 team, so it's not a bad loss. And you lost by 10, so,
All right, yeah, you lost 10 at home. And it could have been worse. I think they got a pick 6 that made it close. Like, it could have been like 17 or more. So, yeah, it's not a bad loss. But if you lose to USC and you're 10-2 in your 2 biggest games you lost, then maybe they don't get in the playoff. Maybe it's not enough for them to get in the playoff at that point, because there's going to be about 7 SEC teams that are probably going to be about 10-2 or 11-1. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
It will be. Where are you going? How are you feeling?
I'm probably with you. I think Oregon probably finds a way to win. Unfortunately, I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I think USC covers that 8.5.
Okay, I like that.
Well, like I said, I'm hope I'm wrong, and hopefully next Sunday we're talking after a USC win at Oregon, and potential playoff on the horizon. That'd be pretty cool.
Was there anything else that we didn't touch on that you wanted to talk about?
No, that was pretty much it there. We touched on the Heisman, we touched on transfer portal a little bit, head coaching rumors, and then it was a big Saturday, so it was a lot to react to. So I like that we kind of did a lot of reaction as well. Yeah,
I would say in terms of transfer portal, Lenore Sellers, Arch Manning, congratulations. Get your bag and go somewhere else. Miami is hiring. That's all I gotta say. Miami will be hiring. They will be.
Miami's hiring. Yeah, maybe even Lagway. You could stay in the state.
Lagway.
I like the kid from Cal. The freshman from Cal could be a decent commodity on the market.
He's good. Mm-hmm. I wish CJ Bailey played better yesterday against Miami. I don't know if it's just a condition. I really like him. I think he has a lot of talent. I think he. Aaron Rodgers is in the medical tent.
Oh, jeez. Well, I think that kind of we had a good Saturday. It was definitely a sacred Saturday yesterday. So I think we're due for a good finish here to college football.
Yeah, I think so too. We'll be back next Sunday. Thank you guys for watching and hanging out with us today. And showing us how sacred your Saturdays was as well. We'll be back next week talking more, updating our Heisman candidates, updating our transfer list portal, maybe start talking about some NFL draft, seeing who could be solidify themselves as that number 1 overall pick. Because, I mean, there's really not a clear-cut one right now. And so
Definitely not, no.
It's going to be fun to see who gets worked up, who's going to be a quarterback that's going to come out next year. And then it's like, do we even look at quarterback this year? Is this another 2021 draft class at quarterback? Someone wound up going first, but then after that, it was just a nasty fall from there. And none of them actually has done well in the league. Well, Malik Willis is playing right now, so he's the one from that class that's actually playing.
Right.
Kenny Pickett could get another opportunity to play, depending on Geno. But
yeah.
But thanks, Cody, for hanging out.
Yeah,
and
thanks for having me. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, fun as always, man. Yeah.
Definitely fun. Will the lane train continue in Oxford? Will Steve Sarkisian be there in Austin, or he jump ship at a chance to coach Jackson Dart and the madman himself, Cam Scatterbo?
I think so. Yeah.
We will discuss more next time on Saturdays Are Sacred. Have a great rest of your Sunday, everybody.
See you, man. Have a good Sunday.
Snap back, quarterback rolling right. He's looking end zone. Caught. Touchdown.
Saturdays Are Sacred, a football podcast.